What's up, Sanctum? I know it's been a while, but here's the video that I promised a few weeks back. Today we're talking about love. So I really feel like God spoke to me one day. I was kind of relaxing, minding my own business, letting my mind kind of just let go. And this message came to me. And part of it probably sparked because, being a lesbian, being a pastor, and trying to promote videos about my beliefs, I'm gonna get some negative comments and some negative feedback. This idea of love kind of stems from the fact that that's what God is. But all these negative comments and things that were coming to me are absolutely in no way a form of love. So I just want you guys to kind of imagine for a minute, especially those of you that really fear God and really fear the whole judgment day and everything like that. And just think about all of those negative comments you sent out to people, all the nasty things you've said behind the scenes, behind your computer screen. And just imagine yourself right there on your judgment day, in front of God, in front of all of the angels, heavenly hosts, everybody that's there. And all of these negative comments start coming at you. But you can't see exactly who's saying them. You just see all these negative comments, and it's basically what you told to everybody else. But it's actually hitting your insecurities and hitting everything you've said about someone. You're a horrible person, you don't deserve to go to heaven, you deserve to go to hell, you should burn, things like that. That would feel terrible, and I'm sure it would probably scare the living daylights out of you. In Matthew chapter 7, it says, "Do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged, and with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye, and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye?" Basically, the Bible is saying we should stop judging others and love each other like God intended us to in the first place. But enough about blaming each other and about judging each other and all that negativity, because I'm kind of sick and tired of negativity. There's been way too much bigotry and racism and hatred and all this stuff going on in our country today, and I can't stand it, and I don't want to talk about that. So let's get away from all of that and get into the topic of the day, which is actually the opposite of all of that, and that is love. If you were to look up in the dictionary about the definition of love, this is what it would say. It would say, love is a profoundly tender, passionate affection for another person. If I could sum up the entire Bible into one message, it would be of love, because that is what God is. God is that feeling that you feel for your loved ones, for your spouse, for yourself, for your family, for your friends, everybody that you feel love for. That's basically God inside of you, because God is love. When we fear each other and we judge each other, we're actually dividing ourselves away from each other. That's not what God intended for us. He intended for us to be close, to come together, and to share the love with each other without limits, without conditions, because that's how He loves us. If we don't come together, if we don't stop fighting over our differences and see what we have in common and how we each and all can love and come together, then we're not going to make the world a better place. And I think the times that we're living in are kind of scary right now, so I think all of us would agree that we would much more rather have a safer, better, happier world to live in than the chaos that we've got going on right now. When you lead a life outside of love, you're not fulfilling your destiny. For those of us who believe that our lives are not our own because of Jesus' sacrifice, then what are you doing by living your life outside of love? He loved us so much that He gave His life for us so that we could have this unique experience, we could have this life, and that we could love people and learn and love. And when we're not loving and when we're not fulfilling that destiny, we're not truly living. We're just existing, waiting for something to happen. Nothing's going to happen until you start acting. You have to create that movement. You have to love. You have to come outside of yourself and away from all those fears and those judgments and those bad ideas that you've had your entire life and come into your own person. If you don't do that, you're going to be a very lonely person. We weren't designed to live our lives alone, away from God and away from community, away from people. We were designed to live our life in community with all of these other people, even those that you fear, even those that you've judged in the past and you want to make statements about and you don't agree with their lifestyles and things like that. You don't understand them, and you can't learn to understand them until you step aside from all of those beliefs and you just love. Research shows that those of us that have fulfilling relationships, that have love in our lives, are actually a lot happier, and on top of that, even healthier. We're able to get through sickness a lot easier than those that don't. we're able to deal with our mental illnesses and things like that a lot easier, or at least with a lot more support than those without it. When you're loving, you're sharing with others, and you're also receiving from others. You're receiving that love. When you live in love, you're giving your time, you're giving your money, you're giving your gifts, you're living a life of truly just giving and generosity. All of that is a form of love. All of it comes together and it forms something very beautiful. You need to stop coming up with excuses and saying, no, I can't love that person because of this or that, or I can't give my money to that homeless guy because I saw him over there and he was asking other people for money, or whatever excuses that you're coming up with is complete BS, and you need to stop right now. We were all called to love. Jesus didn't point out and say, no, you need to give to that person, not that person, because I saw them over there. No, he did not have any preconceived notions or anything like that when he told us to go out and love our neighbor. So God didn't tell you, hey, you need to specifically give to this person, but not this person. You need to give to everyone. If you see someone that's hungry, feed them. If you see someone that's naked, give them clothes. Give them a shirt off your back if you have to. You're living your life of love, and you need to be an example of the love that God has for you, for the world to see. Even some of those homeless people I've heard of and I've even seen, you give give food, and not only sometimes do they feed themselves, but they'll share with their friends. They'll share if they have like a dog, they'll feed their dog and they'll feed themselves. They might not, be completely full because they want to share and they want to help other people as well. So what does that tell you? That even some of the most impoverished people will go out of their way to help someone with the little that they have. My grandma is an awesome example of that. She passed away recently and it still hurts, but she was one of the most generous people that I've ever known. And even though she didn't always have a lot of money, she couldn't always give her money, she would cook for people. I even heard a story about her cooking for a stranger that came to her doorstep. If she can do that, why can't you? The human race as a whole is an incredibly diverse species. So all of us have some sort of gift or talent or money or time or something that we can give to other people. I've really gotten into watching a lot of TED Talks lately. If you haven't, you should look some up about topics that interest you, because it's really inspiring to hear other people talk about all the great things that they've done or that they've witnessed or ideas. It's really cool, so you should definitely look into that. But one of them really stood out to me because I've been watching a lot of them lately, and it was about a mom that taught her son the idea of giving. So on his 3rd birthday, she decided that they were going to start giving. And he was a little confused at first. He didn't really understand what she was trying to teach him. But she said, once a day for an entire year, we're going to give to a person, an animal, or helping the world to become a better place. So together they sat down and they started making a list. But one of the first things that they came up with was donating blankets and towels to a local animal shelter. So there they go, they have their blankets and their towels, they're going to the animal shelter, they give them to the lady behind the desk, and the lady says, thank you very much, and the little boy is looking around, and he sees these cats. And he goes over to their kennel and he's looking inside, and he notices that they have blankets and towels in there. So he goes back up to the lady at the front desk and he asks, are my towels gonna go in with those cats? And she said yes. And as soon as he realized that, his face just lit up. And it's at that moment that the mom said that he got the idea of what giving really was. So if this little boy can get super excited about giving to cats that need blankets and towels, in a shelter, then you can absolutely get what the idea of giving actually is. The mom blogged about this. She was telling the world about this simple little experiment she was doing with her son. And because of it, Give 365 came about. There was this blog, and all these people around the world started reading it and started really getting into the idea of giving and giving every day, and they were messaging her and telling her how they were doing it. Even some schools were doing it. Children were getting involved and telling her all these awesome stories about giving cookies to firemen and about doing someone's laundry and giving money to homeless people. Just all these awesome, awesome ideas. And she noticed that the children that were actively involved in this experience, in this exercise, were happier. Maybe they were already kind of happy before they started doing this, but they became even happier after they experienced this. Giving makes you so happy. Loving other people makes you happy. We weren't put here on this earth just to suffer and just to go through the motions of life every single day. We were put here on this earth to share this divine source that's inside of all of us. We were put here to love, to make this world a better place, to come together, to solve all of these economical and social problems that we have going on. If you want to really dive into love, then we should look at that love chapter in the 1 Corinthians that everyone talks about. It's said at a lot of weddings, not my wedding, but it's said at a lot of weddings. If I speak in the tongues of men and angels but have not love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains but have not love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and surrender my body to the flames but have not love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when perfection comes, the imperfect disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put childish ways behind me. Now we see but a poor reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. So if love wasn't important, it would not be in the Bible that many times, and it would not be such a profound chapter in the Bible as it has come to be known. Yes, it's said at weddings, and weddings are a beautiful example of love, but love can be shared in every single aspect of our lives. Everything that we do, everything that we say, every move that we make, it all has the power to come from love. Now, none of us may reach that unconditional level of Jesus when he laid down his life for everyone. But as Christians and as people and as parts of God, we can still give love. The small amount of love that we have, we can use it to accomplish great things. What opportunities do you have? Maybe you should start praying for some opportunities that'll come your way, that'll help you show love to others. Maybe practice some of that patience, some of that love, some of that giving. If a 3-year-old can understand the concept of giving, then I think you guys can too. I just want to take a moment to pray over you, anyone that watches this video. Lord Jesus, I pray that anyone that sees this video will have the opportunity to truly examine themselves and where they're falling short in that love department. I pray that they'll realize that divinity that's inside you is inside each and every one of us, because we are all a part of you. Love is inside each and every one of us, so you are inside each and every one of us, God. I pray that this video will help impact some people's lives, that they'll start realizing, hey, I need to step up my game and start giving and start loving and truly living my life the way that you wanted me to. And I hope that this helps at least a little bit to stop some of that hate that's going on in our country today, because I believe that we truly need you and we need that love in order to come together and to solve all of these problems that are happening. Thank you for this opportunity, God, and thank you for the lives that you're going to touch through me. In your name I pray, amen. I love you guys. I hope this video was inspiring. I know it took me forever to shoot, but here it is. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it really speaks to you, because this message basically came straight from God for me to be delivered to you guys. So take it, use it, love. Have an awesome day.